Hey.
Welcome to the Don't Be Mad podcast. Of course, I am Mr. Don't Be Mad. And today I have something that I put together that's pretty dope, I think. I got one of CT's top Spanish promoters, DJs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Both of them, actually. In one set, I have, of course, today, I have as my guest today, El Nino, and I also have today, as a co-host, DJ Santo, International Santo.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Good. Good evening.
Good.
Or good morning,
What's
depending
up?
what time you're listening to this.
So how's it going, guys? This was something I thought of that would be dope, that we could all have a dope conversation about Connecticut nightlife, about El Nino, ask him some dope questions, you know what I'm saying? And try to mix it up a little bit, do something different. So I called Santo. This is the first phone call I made to Santo for the podcast, at least.
Okay.
And I was
When
like-
is his episode coming?
His episode's coming soon. We already booked the date and everything,
Okay.
so
Okay.
we're just
Nice.
I know.
Soon comes.
Okay.
I giving him a hard time, but I already know what it is.
Okay.
You know? It's all about timing.
Yeah, I want everything to be on the right time. And like before I ask people like y'all two fellas, I wanted to make sure I was pretty much 100%. The vibe was 100%. My YouTube was already up and running and things of that sort. So I could be right when I have people that's pretty dope coming up on here. Not that any of my guests wasn't dope, but you get what I'm saying. Like when I ask for a favor, I gotta come through on my end most of the time, you know?
I appreciate you trying to grab my water.
I went to try to get you salsa water. I was like, yo, you want anything to drink? He said, Perrier.
Perrier. It's actually Perrier because it's French, but it's Perrier. Whatever.
Perrier.
Just
I'm like,
mineral water,
I'll check,
sparkling
you know?
water.
Went to the corner
Yeah,
store. There was
get
nothing there.
fancy.
There was
Sorry.
nothing there. I'm sorry. On
It's
that
cool.
level. I didn't ask Santo what he wanted. I know he'll be satisfied.
Thank you. I'm good with the ratchet water. Yeah, I'm cool.
I know he don't want no Perrier or anything like that.
That's what I drink, man. It's kind of how I trick myself, thinking I'm drinking soda. You know?
So let me ask you something. Like, how is it being El Nino and being like a LMP DJ and been doing like this DJ thing as one of the top DJs for a while
Thank you. I
now?
appreciate that.
I say over 10, 20 years now. That's 2 decades. Not a lot of people can say they do something
Yes.
at the top of their craft for 2 decades.
24 this year, actually. Yeah.
24 years?
Yeah, 24 years.
Yeah.
See, you work 25 years and then you retire in the regular world. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. This world is not like that, but in a
So
regular
you mean
life,
to tell me I should have
I
taken
was
up a
about
real
to
job?
say.
Is that what we're saying? Wow.
in like real life, like, you know, you're supposed to work. If you work for a state job, you work 25 years, you get a pension, they kick you out pretty much, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't that lucky.
how's it been these 25 years? Has it been like a roller coaster of all types of craziness?
It definitely has been a roller coaster. I think in the last maybe 15 years or maybe a little bit more, I've enjoyed success. I struggled a lot in the beginning. A whole lot in the beginning. I had many failures, many. So when I see people, you know, talking about how good they're doing, how bad they're doing, or whatever, I can relate to their situations because I've been there. I struggled. I went against the grain trying to do my thing, and it just didn't fit sometimes. You know what I wanted to do with what it was, or I wasn't, popping or popular to do some of the things I wanted to do and to make it happen. So it's definitely been a roller coaster.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Both actually. I mean, we can separate the conversations if you want. Let's say, for example, promoting. I think I started promoting in 2003. I just thought it was the next evolution step after DJing is to promote, because as a promoter you're supposed to make more money. So I wanted to.
Was you already a lit DJ when you started to promote? Like you already had a nice following already, or?
Yes, I started to DJ in '96. I worked in a location in Waterbury that's now called Temptations. That's where I started my career. I started there, and I started DJing. I started doing house parties. I started doing, I did that spot. I started doing a couple other different spots. And like I said, after a while, I just kind of got tired, and I wanted to, move on to promoting. So, it wasn't, I already had established, somewhat name locally. It wasn't, the biggest, but I had already some people that fuck with me. So it was, I'm sorry, are we allowed to curse?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah, I had some people that fuck with me then. So I, when I became promoter, I thought it was a next logical step. I figured, okay, well, if I got those people that follow me and fuck with me, maybe I could make some money out of that. And that's where I started. I think my first venue an actual venue, because I did house parties. I used to promote basement parties. I used to make paper flyers. I used to take a piece of.
You used to make your own flyers?
Yes, let me tell you how. I used to take a regular sheet. It's what, 8.5 by 11, and I used to divide it, and then I used to have. My handwriting is not the best, so I used to have like girls that I would know. Like, listen, can you write this information on these boxes?
Oh, you took it that far?
Yes.
How many of those you used to get?
No, but let me tell you, you would take one sheet, you put, I don't know, 8 or whatever in the sheet.
Now.
And then, I used to copy it, and then I bought a guillotine. So I used to make the copy, and I used to take it home, and I used to just, chop it up, boom, 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 and then just give out the papers in school. And that was how my flyer started, actually. I had a girl who took a picture of one, I don't know, like 3-4 years ago, of a party that I did, that actual piece of paper, and I kind of kept it, just to remind myself where I come from. Sometimes you need
That's fire.
that reminder, like, yo, you got it good now. Remember how difficult it was then, or how different. And that's how I used to. That's what I did. So I started promoting in a spot in Waterbury. My first official place that I promoted was called. I think it was a spot called Venue. I think I was doing Fridays there. I think. And I think this was I think because I also did, I know I did Criollas. I did a few spots in Waterbury. I can't remember exactly which was the first one, but I think the farthest memory I have, I think it's definitely Venue. I tried doing a Friday there. They had a successful Friday. I tried doing a Saturday there. And I was just, promoting. MySpace was up and running, and then, I used to have a lot of followers.
MySpace, remember MySpace? Because you get in your MySpace still?
I still do. I go in there and grab old pictures all the time. You see, I be going in with the throwbacks.
I don't even remember
know if my profile still up.
Hell no.
No, listen, I go in there.
Mine was hot, though. I had music in the background.
Yeah, everything.
Remember the words?
Yeah, I'm very grateful to MySpace. I think thanks to MySpace, I was able to do a lot of the things I did, travel and get a lot of out-of-town gigs. Then, but yeah, that was the first spot I promoted. I struggled. I failed. I didn't do that well. I kept it moving. I kept trying. I would have like one decent. I never had a good night. I had one decent night, and then next week nobody came.
Like just enough to keep you going.
Yeah.
Just enough to be like,
Give you like,
there's
one bad one.
Yeah, I can do this.
I
could do this. And I just kept going. I did a whole bunch of other places after that. I think what kind of sort of put me, I guess on the state map was when I started doing Criollas, which is a location that a lot of promoters who were or still are active kind of started.
Criollas?
Yeah, it's called Criollas. It was
I remember, I think I DJed like once or twice there.
Yeah. The owners were Cape Verdean. Yeah, there were two brothers. They had that spot, and they gave me Saturdays, and I started there, and I started coming up with all these crazy ideas. I did a blackout party and all these things, and all of a sudden everybody was doing, the blackout parties, and I did a traffic light, like all these ideas.
Okay. So that's okay. So themes came along around this time. Like that's when it started to kind of work.
For me, my first. I'll go back. My first, let's say, traffic light party that I did was in '03. So Criollas came after that, because I did it in a place called Ambar Cafe, which also called Los Amigos Pool Club, and this is going like way back. This is actually after Venue, I think. This is definitely before Criollas opened its door. So I started trying things out. I did like a beach party or whatever, and like I went to the store, the Spencer's, and I bought they had like a coconut, a palm tree thing, and I bought it. Paid like $25 for it just to put it there so it could look like a like just dumb stuff like that. And that's how I started with the themes.
That's more of an effort than a lot of the promoters that are doing theme parties now are getting.
Yeah, they don't even care. They just they think a flyer is the theme, and that's the whole party. Like
that's how I started, just doing stuff like that. I just always wanted to be a little bit different, and You know, when I started doing those themes, that's how it was.
So you started promoting in 03.
Mm-hmm.
You started DJing when?
So 96, right?
Late 96.
Because that's 24 years, 96.
Yeah, I'll be 24 years, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So late 96.
96?
96, yes. I bought my first Denon, which is my first thing I mixed on. Denon 2500 in January of 97.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time I got my hands on. Because I do Latin music, so Latin music wasn't, on vinyl anymore. You had to buy CDs the only way. And that was the first time, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. What about you?
He was early on the CD wave. I think I started in 2000 with vinyl, collected like a few crates, and transitioned to CDs in like vinyl. 02 or 03 or something like that. Because of what he said. Like the only reason why I started DJing with CDs was because like reggaeton, like there was a few records like you can get like white label reggaeton, but like you wasn't really getting heat, and then like remixes and stuff like that. I was like, oh nah, like I gotta get on the CD wave.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of why I transitioned, was because like the lack of Latin music I can get, and being able to be like.
Did you originally do Latin music when you started?
No, it was originally like just whatever they were doing before, which I was working with Cuba. I don't know if you remember DJ Cuba and like Late Night Entertainment, and they were doing like a lot of the team parties.
Danny, yeah.
And it would be hip hop, but it would also be like a lot of reggae, and then like when like Satisfaction came out, I was like we were playing like that house music and stuff like that, where it was like, okay, so I started it like at that age with vinyl, already started experimenting with playing house with hip hop crowds. So I was like, all right, we gotta get some Latin incorporated in this.
Yeah,
you know
Danny did really good with the teen parties. He had that smash.
So what years was that you was doing that?
He was doing them phone parties too.
02, 03.
Okay, that's way back.
What is that? Late Night Entertainment, right? Was that
Late Night Entertainment.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Danny?
Danny's like, he did the printing for a while.
Yeah, he did that for a couple years.
Now he's just kind of doing like the behind the scenes online stuff. So he's just like a ghost. Getting money.
That kid has been smart.
Willing and dealing and hustling on the internet, you know what I'm saying?
That kid has been smart. He's been very smart, about his business. I remember he was, way younger than me when I first met him. I originally met him
that's my guy.
and
he's cool.
in some kind of artist activity in New York City. I used to go to all these things in New York, artist showcases, and I met him there. He was like, yeah, my DJ Cuba. And I was like, okay, well, never heard of him.
I met him at a showcase too. But the difference was I was performing at the showcase as a rapper. So nobody even really knows this about me. Like,
okay,
so I started
dropping gems today.
I started out doing music, and it was kind of like a situation where like I was just running around with him, sub promoting. And then he was just like, I was DJing in my basement, but that was nothing that I ever thought I could actually take it to the club. So he was like, yo, bro, like, you know how to DJ? I'm like, yeah, I got turntables and a few records or whatever, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, why don't you come open at one of the team parties? And I'm like, shit, you don't gotta ever tell me twice. I guess I'm DJing now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I just started to like, I just, went to where I was good at, you know what I mean? So, which is the DJing, and obviously making music wasn't. So I was like, all right, let me be realistic, and then that's where I picked up the DJing. So Danny's really the person that's responsible for kind of like driving that motivation to DJ for me. You know what I mean? So
Shout out to Danny.
He threw me right into a club. Like he threw me. Yeah. So I went from like, okay, yeah, I can fuck around, to like, hey, you want to like open up for like DJ Clue and like at the Roxy and shit, like and Cuba, like fucking doing 1,000 people phone parties and shit. I'm like,
yeah, Danny did some dope parties. Yeah, he was a really smart kid. Yeah,
he was a legendary.
Yeah, man. A lot of people don't even remember or know him nowadays.
In high school.
Yeah, unless you've been around for a long time, you wouldn't even know like what he did. I think he was managing Sus One for a while, right? And then Sus One was working the parties with him. Yeah, I remember all that.
Sus One is the one that kind of got me my New York feet wet, like being able to DJ in front of celebrities and like not buckle under pressure. You know what I mean? Like, and not try to show off for them and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, and that also got me really long way with my career too. So, and Danny's the one that introduced me to Sus One. So, yeah.
Shout out to Danny.
Shout out to Danny, man.
Again, once again, shout out to Danny.
Yeah, man.
Okay, shout out to Danny.
Yeah.
We gotta sit down with that guy maybe one day. He's a ghost now, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think you should.
You
I think if you get in contact with him, I would. I'm sure he has a lot of stories to tell. From parties to like the connections he made and artist showcases.
Yeah,
and when
because he's done a lot of shit.
He has. And then he had the printing on Smash in Connecticut. I was still printing with guys in New York, and he was like, "Come on, bro, I can give you a better price. I'm right here in Connecticut. I drive to your house." And I eventually did business with him, and then I was just printing everything with him.
Yeah, I
And
remember those
he used to
days.
bring me mixtapes on a weekly basis when I was doing mixtapes, covers, and all that. It was a good time. Daddy took care of me.
He's the one that introduced me to Craig G also. But Craig G was kind of like, oh, okay, like, yeah, this your boy. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, nice story. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he got to grind though. Like,
Yeah, he got to put in
Craig,
some
Craig,
work.
Craig always like, yeah, good guy, but you got to grind.
You gotta work.
You know?
Yeah. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah,
Those
that's
were good
throwback.
times.
That's throwback. So when did you get into Van Dome? Like, it felt like you've been there forever. So
I've been there 10, 11 years.
Explain what Van Dome for
Like
anybody
that-
that's listening that is not familiar with like how legendary and how consistent Van Dome has been.
Well,
Yeah,
from my perspective, I've been there 11 years, and prior to that, I was a customer. I used to go. So Van Dome is Connecticut's longest running club, period, I think.
Yeah, I
at
would
this
say.
point,
Yeah, I would
I
say.
don't know that to be 100% sure. But I know for a fact, as a Latin night, yes, they have the longest running Latin night. The club has been there 30 plus years, whatever. It was Montego Bay from the 70s to the 80s, and then after that, it became not the Vault. It became, I can't remember the name, but it got sold. It became something else for like 1 or 2 years, and then it became Van Dome.
okay.
And the rest is history. The club is still there. It's still,
As far as I know,
Bring
Van
people
Dome been lit because that's what my peoples used to go back in the day.
Yeah,
Like,
Montego Bay is like my mom's era. I remember like Latin house and stuff. Like when I hear that, I think of my mom and my aunts getting ready
to party.
You know, yeah. While me and my cousin is just like chilling or whatever, about to like jump on the Nintendo, and my mom is just ready to go to Montego Bay. So when I think of
Yeah.
Montego Bay, I think of like house and Latin house.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
club
like
was legendary. The Montego Bay for Connecticut, or the early, that early scene. It was definitely legendary. Like I know, Steve Rubell and the guys from Studio 54 will come down here to party on their off nights and
that's
whatever when they
fire.
had events. Yeah, yeah. The
that's
stories
big.
I've heard about, our manager Nick, who's been there forever and a day. He used to tell me, yeah, Steve Rubell, he used to come here, and then, they used to take a helicopter and go to Atlantic City after here.
Yeah.
He would tell me all these stories. Well, Steve Rubell owns Studio 54. Those guys made so much money in such a little time. Like, it was nothing to them. So he would tell me these stories. But, yeah, Club Van Dome, it's still there. Still doing good. I've been doing Fridays. I started there. I was a guest DJ invited for Dominican Independence Day in 2007. I was invited for Dominican Independence Day, which was in February. And, the owner made a flyer. I was, promoting it, trying to get people to go. And then that day, we got, like, the biggest snowstorm. And I'm like, damn, nobody's going to go. And I drove. It took me 2 hours to get there. I get there. I start to DJ. There were, no lie, I think there were
Sucks.
there were about 70 people in the club that day. The
Yeah,
whole
Van
club.
Dome.
And
That's
I'm
how you
like-
know Van Dome's hot. It was a big ass snowstorm. Still
And
70 people.
70
there.
people showed up, and I'm like, you know what? This guy's never gonna call me back. And he said, you did a good job, come back. So he called me the month after. By that time, I was because I want to separate sort of the stories. Prior to Van Dome, I'll tell you the story prior to Van Dome. So Van Dome, he had me come back the following month. And then, whenever I had a Friday off, he would have me back.
Okay.
So then it went from, I was 1 month, and then I skipped a month, then another month. And then it became a monthly thing. And then after 7 months, he told me, well, listen, we need a kind of a new, fresh deal. Would you be interested in taking over on Fridays? And I said, sure, why not? To me, it was close to home, and I wouldn't have to travel as much, because at that time I was traveling a lot. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And then, those 7 months or whatever months transpired, I went from being, an invited in one day to, being every month to basically taking over on Fridays. And I've been there ever since.
That's crazy, right? One of the number one clubs in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Probably the most consistent ever in
And
Connecticut.
it's crazy that you're talking about like the first time that you DJ there only being 70 people, and that being the reason why you wouldn't come back. And like I think as a DJ, like I think you could tell a lot about a DJ and his skill when they're only DJing for 70 people versus a packed house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put a lot of DJs in a packed house, it's a lot easier to get the job done, but you could really tell if a DJ is really good, if it's a light crowd and they make those, because it's harder to make.
Yeah, make
less
them
people
dance,
have fun. You know
make
what I'm
them
saying?
have
Yeah.
fun.
So I think that
enjoy
might have
themselves.
worked out in your favor, like in the long run, like.
Yeah.
Because you really had to like pull through,
I
make
really
70
had to,
people
yeah.
have fun. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
why it's
At the
like,
end of the day,
yo,
you know what I mean?
I got.
I didn't think he was gonna call me back. I'm like, yo,
That's a good
70
lesson,
people
though.
came.
I bet you all the bartenders
for
was
new
like, yo, I
DJs.
was rocking all night.
Yeah.
I think that's a good lesson for new DJs, not to get discouraged on them off nights, because those are the nights that you really get to craft and like really hone in on your skill. Like when you really gotta like be put in that pressure, like, oh, there's only a handful of people, I gotta really zone in on what they like specifically. So
Yeah,
like take
it's
advantage
different,
of
though.
every opportunity,
Yeah,
man. You
I
know what
definitely
mean?
didn't think I was gonna come back. But at that time, my story prior to Vendome, I actually made my DJ career, became known DJing outside of Connecticut. I didn't get known in Connecticut. Besides the people that knew me from the basement parties in Waterbury, nobody in Connecticut knew me. I had
that's
DJed in
great.
Hartford once or twice. Like I did Bar with No Name. I did DVD. I used to work for a promoter called Hector Hartford, and he did DVDs. He did Bar with No Name. He did a couple other spots, and I worked for him in the spots. But you know, he would pay me little to no money because I was unknown and whatever. Like I didn't have a good, you know, it wasn't good for me. It wasn't a good experience. So once I started doing mixtape and stuff, I started traveling.
Yeah, I was gonna
So-
ask about the
Yeah,
mixtape.
so
Yeah, I
yeah,
started-
you've been
I start-
everywhere. You go on like tours and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do. I still do. Occasionally, not as much as I would love to. But at that time when I started Vendome, I was traveling heavy. I was doing Texas, Orlando. I went all over the place. I went to Canada. I was doing really good at that time. So that's why I was only in Vendome
Once a month.
once a month or once every other month because my schedule was a little bit busy. And that was all thanks to MySpace. Like I said, I owed a lot to MySpace. I got to meet a lot of people and travel a lot. So I was doing good. So I was very known outside in the DJ circuit. I was very known everywhere else. But here I was just a nobody.
So
basically.
was you known for your DJing outside or like your mixtapes and stuff?
I always thought,
mixtape
my
and
bad,
some
'cause
DJ.
I always thought he was from out of town early because of your mixtapes. I didn't even know you were from Connecticut till like a long time after. I think because I was familiar with your mixtapes, you know what I mean, and I knew that you were popular. But like you said, you were traveling a lot, so I didn't even know you were from Connecticut. I just
Yeah.
was familiar with your name.
Yeah,
So to
yeah.
find out that you were from Connecticut, it was kind of like way after the fact. I was like, oh shit, he's from Connecticut. So
Yeah.
that was kind of something that I put together like way after. The mixtapes is how I learned about you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did good with that. You know, I used to make mixtapes, the compilations, and it did very well for me. I sold a lot of copies. I was doing really well. I sold copies in Japan. I still got some of Japan pressing. So they actually pressed original CDs. Yeah, they would
This
buy my
guy's
masters.
getting money out here.
Yeah, and friends and stuff. I was doing good. Listen, I don't know how old I was at the time, but I was doing really well. I was making a lot of money, and I was just happy. I was
That's fine.
just moving around, and it was a good time. So, like I said, I didn't get known in Connecticut till I did Vendome. So then after that, I sort of became, Nino, he works in Vendome, and that's it. And I always felt some type of way about that. I'm like, what about everything I did before that? I've traveled the world before that, but nobody knew or nobody cared to even know.
So did you travel the world and everything before you became an LMP DJ?
Yes, I became LMP in 2006. I think it was early 2006. I became LMP. I was traveling, and they were a music, or still are a music website, and they have forums. Back in the day, it was very popular to be in forums and download albums or whatever, and they would bootleg all my mixtapes there. And sometimes I would have like exclusive stuff, and I would just put it up there to kind of get my name known or whatever. And that's, basically that's how I linked up with them. They put a posting about we're looking for DJs. We're going to have a DJ crew. And I applied, and I didn't get picked out of the first, 10 or whoever they picked. And then I reapplied, months later because I saw one of my mixtapes. One of them was posting, the owner of the site was posting my mixtape somewhere. And I was like, yo, that's one of my mixtapes, right? He was like, yo, this is you. This is you. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. He was telling me about the whole DJ thing. I'm like, yeah, I applied. You guys denied me. You guys didn't think it was mine. So he
That did
finally
me
accepted me,
dirty.
and I became LMP, which is, a very big global movement. And after, I don't know, maybe a year of being with them, I became head DJ, and I was head DJ for a couple of years, head of all the guys, and
That's
I did
fine.
that.
How
Got to
did
meet
that?
a lot of people.
How was that? Like running and helping all those.
Well, we
DJs.
were all new to, or I was completely new to the whole being, having a DJ crew and understanding that whole thing. So it was difficult. I was
Because
more.
I know, because you DJs, you pretty much for yourself all the time.
Exactly,
So having to
exactly.
manage, like, I don't know how many, more than 10 people you said, so.
Yeah, no. This was by then. LMP had, I don't know, a whole bunch. We have a whole bunch of, bedroom DJs. We had some actual club guys. It was just a little bit of everything. So it was a little difficult. Some guys were really, really active already. They had a name for themselves. Danny S. and a whole bunch of other guys were already doing really well. So it was kind of easy for me to, manage them and create projects. The first project that I did was Dominican Parade mixtape in 2006. Was the first project I was in charge of putting the DJs together, putting the mixes together, and that mixtape kind of made a lot of noise for us, and we kind of just basically grew from there. We dropped the mixtape every parade since 2006.
And you still doing that to this day?
Mixtapes? Nah.
For the Dominican Parade?
LMP still does. I don't no longer take part in that, but they still new up and coming DJs. They'll select 5, 6, 7, usually 7 DJs. Everybody does an 11-minute set because by then we were still doing CDs back then. So we would make the DJs do 7 DJs, 11 minutes would be 77, and then 3 minutes of wiggle room. Yeah. So I'm sure Santa could relate to some of that. So we would do that.
Adds up, 11 minutes.
Yeah, it adds up, of course, because it's never 11 minutes straight. It's 11 minutes and a half, whatever. So we have that wiggle room, but yeah, they still do the parade every year. They still do a mixtape. Yeah. Definitely, we still participate, and we went from renting trailers to be part of the parade, the big trucks, with the sound system, to owning our own. We actually own our own after many years. We bought our own, and they still do parade. I don't go over there anymore because it's difficult for me to wake up at 6 in the morning to drive down to be downtown New York by 9 in the morning. I'm not doing all that, man. I'm too old for that.
Yeah, New York parade.
I'm tired from a Saturday night to wake up. You know what I'm saying?
We did a couple Bridgeport parades, and I can imagine the New York parade.
Yeah, man, you have to, because you know what? They close down all the streets. Yeah. And you have a deadline to get down there so you can actually get to where you're supposed to get, right? And if you don't previously have the bracelets, you have to, if you have them already, then you can just go wherever you got to go and you got a bracelet, you're good to get it to your section. But you have to wake up early because the guy that will get the bracelets for LMP, he would just be there like in a specific corner waiting for everyone to come in, give him the bracelets so they can come in. So if he wasn't there in the morning, you have to call people, and by then the music is loud, they're not listening to the phone, so you're out there waiting for somebody to come get you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys ever been to any kind of festival where, you have the hookup and you're waiting for somebody to come get you, and I'm blowing up their phone. So it got a little crazy. It was just too much, man. I remember I've actually hosted the first about 5 times we were in the parade, and I just learned how to chant and just yell. I remember the first year I lost my voice halfway through it. The second year, and then about the third year, I kind of got it. I'm like, all right, let me get some horns, let me have some water, and then, you know what I'm saying? I kind of got it after a while, and it was pretty dope. It was a dope experience. I had a good time. I just can't do it no more. I'm not with that. I'm not. I let the young guys do it.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Like I said, especially waking up, you'll have to leave. I'll have to leave Waterbury 7 in the morning to give myself 2 hours to get downtown.
And you can't half-ass the parade. Like, you're gonna do the parade, you gotta go hard. There's no in between.
And now it's shorter now.
You gotta get up super early. You gotta fucking go do the work.
And the last 3 years or 4 years, they made it, maybe even 5. No, probably more than 5. They made it shorter.
Oh, okay.
So it's now like I'm gonna go to be 20 minutes in a float. Nah, bro, I'm gonna stay home sleeping. I'm not doing that. 20, 25 minutes, because it was so long before it was blocks and blocks, and they just every year I feel like they just kept cutting it. And and also depends your position, because you have all the side streets where you have all the, you know what I'm saying, and people you'll go after whoever, you know what I'm saying. So if you close to the ending, then you basically gonna be there 5 minutes and you're done. You know what I'm saying? They put like the beginners, I think they put them in the front, and then the bigger, like the radio stations, La Mega, Univision, whatever, will be in the middle. And with, they got the big artists, and then the back will be like whoever. You know what I'm saying? And those people, by the time those people get all the way to the end, there's almost nobody there. Yeah, everybody already saw who they wanted to see. Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm following this artist down the street.
Exactly. That was one of my first projects for LMP. Was doing that. I already had enough experience promoting, and I was telling them, because the guys who ran LMP at that time were, by their own words, it was a computer nerd and a graphic designer, and those guys got together and they formed the website. Mm-hmm. So they had no experience in like marketing, promoting, or anything like that, and I had a little bit. So I would tell them like, yo, we should do this, we should start selling ads, we should create a promo team, and I had all these ideas that some of the ideas they never actually became anything. It was maybe ahead of its time or whatever, but some of the ideas kind of stuck, and we started getting sponsorships. We, Nubo sponsored us, and Presidente Beer sponsored us, Sony sponsored us. We kind of, did our thing. We got
a lot of plugs, and that's a good.
And
It's a
then
name
a little bit
brand.
after that, I started doing remixes and blends and selling remixes online, which became very popular once kind of digital stuff started coming around. Sites like Crooklyn Clan came out. Crooklyn Clan, there was Club
Y'all
Bangers.
DJs, y'all know this, right?
Yeah, he would. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would know Club Bangers, but Club Bangers, Crooklyn Clan, all the Crack for DJs, all these websites came around, and I was doing blends for them. So I was doing a lot of work, and then I just thought that it was just too much for me to handle.
Like doing the blends,
Yeah,
doing the nightlife,
trying to keep
doing-
up with that, and then trying to like be head DJ and deal with people's problems, because some guys would call me like, listen, we got a problem here in Florida. Some DJs are undercutting, and they're saying our guys are doing it, and blah. Like, it was just a lot of drama. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want to do it no more. I said, you know what? I quit. I don't. And then that's when we started doing the chapters. Then we had chapter down south, chapter West Coast, and then every chapter had a leader, and that's how that came about. So that's sort of my history with LMP.
Okay, that's dope.
And I'm still there. I'm still, I still DJ, so I'm still active. They're thinking about retiring me and putting me in the retired roster. We retired a lot of guys, and I'm like, nah, keep me in there. Keep me in the active roster. I'm still DJing.
Man.
Yeah, I'm still DJing. Don't take me out. You put me in, you put me in the Hall of Fame. It's like I'm dead. Don't do that. Don't play me like that. And that's my experience with them. And and Van Dome, like I said, my whole traveling thing, and good times.
That's dope. That's dope. So how did the remixes and everything start? Did that open like another path for you?
Yes, I got to know a lot of guys who nowadays are very big in that aspect. I first started with a website. I want to remember. The first website.
That's like
had a
before
weird-
reggaeton was like what it is now, right?
Well, obviously what it is now, but it was bubbling. It was making noise. It was definitely making noise. I can't remember the name of the website. I know I still have the banner with my name on it, but I started this website, and then that website was me, Scooter, Beat Breaker, all these guys who are now like a big deal. So I started with them, and then once the website was sold to somebody else, it kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
So by then I was in that website. I was in Club Bangers too, and I linked up with a guy who I knew from the MySpace days. His name is DJ Julian, and he does
MySpace
videos.
is his plug right
Yo,
there.
MySpace was everything to me. I love MySpace. I'm very grateful to it. There's a reason why I became who I am.
Word.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Julian would do video edits, and this is way before it was even a thing. And he did a couple video edits of my stuff, and he became part of Crooklyn Clan. So my videos were there, so that created a buzz for me too. And that's it. And I spread. I was in a whole bunch of websites doing the same thing. Like I would upload, and nobody was really doing the Latin thing like that. So like I would do whatever I would do Latin and feed it to this website, and then the week after that I would feed it to this website, because they didn't really care. It wasn't really that known. So then I would feed it to 5 websites, the same pack of like blends and stuff. So I was making money here, making money here, making money here, making money here.
It's
Yeah,
yours.
it
You
was
can
time
sell
consuming,
to
but I couldn't keep up with it.
Moving
Once the technology became crazy and all these other programs, I just couldn't keep up with it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm just stick to DJing. Is what I like to do, and I kind of dropped it. The last time I did anything, I think it was 2010, 2011. I did any kind of blends. I did some good blends. I did some good stuff that got a lot of radio play. A lot of stuff. A decent amount of stuff that got a lot of radio play.
That's-
So you don't get the urge creatively to jump back in it, or it's like now seeing cats like Stutters and how the Ableton is involved and how intricate it could be. Does that intimidate you a little bit, or
Yeah,
is it like
I think it would definitely intimidate me, because I'm not the biggest computer nerd. I'm not, So for me to sit there and learn Ableton, I'm still.
Because for me, I was like, oh hell no, I'm not done. This is you're on the
yeah.
Stutters is like, I don't know about this blend shit.
I mean, when I was doing it, I was using SoundForge. I was using Acid Pro 3.
Yeah.
These programs are legendary. Now nowadays everybody uses Ableton, but back then that's what it was. Good times. But I don't really.
Good times.
Yeah, good times, man. It was great times, man. Yeah, because we old now. You know what I'm saying? All we got is the memories.
I just mentioned Stutters' name, and he just said he's outside.
Yo, could you open the door for Stutters? We gotta get Stutters up in here, because I want to start talking about nightlife and what the fuck is going on in nightlife right now.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
this is a perfect DJ moment to
Yeah, how
have
much
you.
time we got? Like, how long does this thing record right here? Like,
Don't worry, we still
I
got
got
a good
time.
clean half hour still. Like,
Yeah, man. So
And we
the
got to
blends
know.
not- that's a little bit of me in the remix game. That's a little bit of me in my DJ career, and a little bit of my promoting.
So how about like? Did you just end a poppin' Wednesday night that you just retired and put it to sleep?
I did.
Is there a reason?
I realized I don't know, like 2 years ago, that in this business, first of all you have to have a young mindset. You have to be up with what's going on, right? And I realized things after a while, they kind of get stale and old. So I decided to retire one of my probably my biggest event, which was a Project X, was kind of a block party.
Yeah, that's what you used to do at Van Dome, correct?
Exactly, for the end of summer Labor Day.
I never got to hit one of those.
Yeah, I didn't either, though. I see the Beats videos.
Once again,
like,
good times. I went from doing like my very first one. I had all these grand ideas. I'm like, I'm gonna rent one of those lifts that those that they're ready for construction, and I'm gonna host a party from the top of the lift, because I was getting ideas from the movie, what they did in the movie. So I was like, I'm gonna rent a lift, I'm gonna host them up there, I'm gonna have the DJ on the stage. And when the time was getting closer, I couldn't pull all these things off. It just wasn't possible for me. I didn't plan. I didn't know. It was my first time doing it, so I didn't really have everything put together. So at the end of the week of came, I'm like, I don't even have a stage for the DJ. I ended up hiring these people to do lights. They overcharged me for some really whack lights. And I got the sound system, and these guys came in, and the sound system kept going off. And then the DJ...
We had our fair share with sound systems, huh, Sato?
Who hasn't?
Yeah, it was terrible. And then the DJ, I didn't know what to do with him because I didn't have a stage, so I rented a U-Haul truck, the biggest U-Haul truck I can find, and I put him on top of the U-Haul to DJ from up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's wild. I still got that picture. Yeah,
That's kind of doper than the stage, though.
I
for
like
the
that
theme,
idea.
Like, just craziness,
Yeah, that's what it was. So I'm like, okay, we had... I don't know, man. The club was packed. Van Dome was doing really great numbers then, and the club was packed. But outside, I probably had 70 people, maybe, not even. It wasn't a success at all. It wasn't.
And what year was that you started doing that?
I retired it 2 years ago. When
did you start?
And prior to that was 8 years prior to that.
Okay.
That's how long that movie
That
came
was
out.
8 years?
Yeah, I did
And
it
that
the
was
year after the movie came out. So whatever year the movie came out, it was the year after.
Okay.
That I started to do. And so I just decided, you know what? I just think it's stale. The party became really big. I got a pool. I used to get bouncy houses. I had mechanical bulls. I had all kinds of things going on. It became really big. I clocked out around 3,000 people. I mean, completely. So maybe I had like 1,000 outside and 1,000 inside and 1,000 in the patio. It just became nuts. It was a good time. But I just felt like, you know what?
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
In Connecticut, that's a lot of people.
I decided it was time to move on. I'm like, I want to retire the party.
So
I kind of just learned to let go. I mean, it probably is age, but I learned to let go a lot of things. So I decided to let that party go. And when I was thinking about Wednesdays, I just felt the same thing. Wednesdays was stale, and I wanted to let it go.
Was it because part of it was because like your expectations were too high for your own, like you know what you expect out of your events, and you know what the scene is right now, and was it just like, all right, it's just not meeting my expectations anymore as far as just excitement and just...
I never thought of it that way, but
because it was never really like it was unsuccessful. You know what I mean?
Nah, it wasn't. Even
So
at
that's
the
not the
end,
reason why.
when I wasn't doing crazy numbers, it was still good. I was still making money. It wasn't a loss. I was still making money. I just felt that it was time to let it go.
Just tired. You were just like tired of just every week.
You know what? I'll tell you one of the reasons, and this is, it might sound a little crazy, but one day I woke up. Well, I'll tell you what. I ended up doing, when I was doing La Cazuela, I stopped because they wanted to shut down. So I shut down the night, and they shut down a week after. So I was in the Wednesdays for about 6 months. And that time I picked up Soho in Norwalk, and I was doing that, and I was doing great. But then I started bumping heads with the owner. So then I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out for me in the winter. Maybe I should go back to do my Wednesdays, my safe spot. But the thing I hated the most was that I had to hire new staff, because all the girls that came up with me now had kids, had husbands, had jobs, had other things, and the team wasn't the same.
That feeling it wasn't there.
It wasn't there no more. So they had to hire new girls, and to me, that was the most difficult thing to do. So once I hired girls that I thought were okay, I started, and it started good. And then after that, I had to switch some of the girls or whatever. But then I want to say, maybe 10 months ago, about 10 months ago, I just I don't want to do this no more. And the money was still coming in. The money's still good, so I kept doing it for the money. I kept doing it.
That's gonna get at you though.
But I didn't want to do. I didn't have the love for it no more.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to do this shit no more. Fuck this shit. Like every Wednesday, I have to get ready to go to the club. I'm like, I don't want to fucking go. I don't want to go. And then one day, I don't know, 3 months ago, I'm driving to take my daughter to school, to pick her up, to take her to school, and it just kind of smacked me in the face. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm telling everybody how I've been feeling. I'm gonna drop this shit, and that's basically it. I told my staff, I told the owners, I don't want to do it no more. You know, and one of the reasons that
was 10 years, right?
No, the night went on for 6.5 years. In November would have been 7.
That's strong. Like, you know what I'm saying?
For a Wednesday.
Yeah, for a Wednesday.
You know,
and then you got the Van Dome you do every Friday, correct?
Exactly, yeah. I just think too it has to do with old age, man. It just became a point. My daughter's older now, and I felt embarrassed every Thursday morning picking her up to take her to school drunk. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it might be a little weird. And if you got kids, maybe you can.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, you could understand. That. You know, I know my daughter when she got in the car, and I would pick her up at 8 because I would wake up at 8 in the morning. No matter if we left the club at 6, 7, at 8, I have to go pick her up. Yeah. And it just became embarrassing to me. I was like, I know my daughter can smell me.
Yeah,
that I smell like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? It just became embarrassing to me.
Come so I'm little like, stuff around
hey,
here. Jump over here.
Here.
Put this in the middle right here. That should be good.
And it just became this thing where I'm just embarrassed, you know. And
I don't know if that was the route. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
What's good, brother?
What's going on, man?
Started to do some skinny shit.
He just did some skinny nigga shit.
Me and O'Neal was like,
Yeah.
This should be good for both.
And that's basically what happened, you know. Just kind of like, listen, my kids are older. I want to spend more time with my kids. I've dedicated my whole life to my career, and you know, been away from the family and every holiday. So I want to slow down a little bit, and that was basically it. And I've had the conversation prior to me making the announcement. Over months, I've had the conversation with Stutters. I'm like, he would ask me like, yo, so what are you going to do about Wednesdays? I'm like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to do it. This is like last winter, right?
Yeah.
This is like at least 10 months ago, right?
Yeah, almost a year ago.
Yeah, almost a year ago. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. And I just stayed there, and I stayed there. And I'm like, you know, like I said, that one day I just, you know, going to pick up my daughter, I just like, boom, no, that's it. I'm done. I don't care. I don't want to do it, and that was it.
That's it.
So I retired. It's time for something new. It doesn't mean I'm going to quit nightlife. A lot of people think I'm retiring. I guess my speech was kind of crazy. I'm not retiring. I just don't want to, you know, I don't want to. I want to chill.
You scare these guys out here, you know.
Yeah,
they get their youth from you, you know. That's what they doing. They getting their youth from you know.
Man, I've been out partying 20-year-olds for too long, man. You gotta cut me a break now, man. I've been out drinking motherfuckers forever.
So what's good with the drinking though? Last time I seen you in the club, you was kind of like slowing down.
Well, for the last 3 years, I kind of made this thing that every February, I will not drink. I couldn't do it January because January is my birthday, and how can I not drink on my birthday? So I'm like, all right, I'll do the second month of the year, February. So the last 3 years I've been doing, I just didn't drink, you know, and it felt good, you know. And then this year, Stutters did it with me, and we're trying to get more people in the movement. So he did it with me, and it's just drinking doesn't feel the same anymore, man. I've been drinking forever. I mean, I used to drink Hennessy heavy. You know, I went from Hennessy to Buchanan's, and now I drink Buchanan's 18, and it's just bottle after bottle. You know, on Wednesdays, my tab would be crazy. I would drink a lot. You know, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottles. You know, not by myself, obviously. You know, I got a couple of people with you, but I would at least drink one whole bottle and a half by myself, and it's a lot, man. And I don't have any health issues. Thank God, knock on wood. I have no health issues, but it's gonna catch up to me eventually. You know, it has to. I was drinking way too much. You know, I stopped drinking. Prior to that, I kind of stopped my drinking. I was only drinking basically Wednesdays and then Saturdays when I would travel out of town. But even that, now that I don't have Wednesdays, I'm drinking, you know, sporadically. And it's only going to help me, man. I've lost weight since I stopped drinking, everything.
You lose weight.
It gets dangerous when you're working and doing it because that's kind of like in the back of your mind, it's like an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, no, it's not that bad. I only do it when I'm working. And then when you realize that you work a fucking lot, you don't stop working. And then it's like, oh, shit. Like, you start adding things up. It's like, oh, okay.
I've come through that cross path a few times. Like I say to myself, like, I only have a few drinks when I go to work, or even just if I'm hanging out. And it, like you said, it's not really a problem because I'm not a person to have like a beer at the house. I don't have any like liquor at the house.
Me neither.
But when I do go out, it's not just a
drink.
a cocktail here. It's fucking flipping bottles up and fucking drinking it like it's a fountain, you know?
Yeah.
Which is fun. You're with your friends, but it gets to the point where you're just like
You gotta relax.
Gotta relax a little. I did the no drink in February for a few reasons. One, to just give myself a little break, and two, I know it sounds kind of corny, but to build also the tolerance and the muscle of saying no in temptation.
Yes,
That's
I like that.
That's also was
That
explains
explains a lot.
That
explains Shrine why he wasn't.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, so it's just like when you're in that moment and you want something, it's also having the ability and building that muscle just to be like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
That was dope. That's
He was
dope.
trying hard.
So how was that? How was
He was trying hard to get him out.
He
By the
was?
way. You gotta understand, like, there was like a DJ link up, like 8-track, and like mad DJs was there, like.
Yeah, this
and then
last Tuesday.
Michi was there. Michi was a man of very few words, and Michi spoke that night. And what
Oh,
Michi
word?
said was, "Nah, Stutters, you coming with us?
Yeah, bro.
You coming with us?" Because he ain't never been to Shrine. So like Stutters was like, "Nah, I can't do it." It was like, "Well, what you got? You gotta go to work. You gotta do this. What you gotta do in the morning?" He's like, "Nah, none of that shit. I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it." I'm like, "Yo, what is going on with this dude?" Like, but he was just practicing a little self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's respectable.
But all month, and the thing is, and the thing is, in our line of work, you know, there's a birthday every night we DJ. There's somebody celebrating a birthday.
Yep.
And they
So
wanna
what are
get
your
you
lies?
drinks.
And so it's just like, oh, how you gonna say no? It's my birthday, but I'm just like, it's not about that. Like, first of all, like, there's gonna be other occasions we could drink and whatever. So it was, you know, but it was a nice little break.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun without you.
Yeah, no, exactly.
How do you feel that it's done now? Would you do it again?
Yeah, of course I would do it again.
Would you wait till next February, or would you do it?
I don't know. I've had like mixed feelings. Like, I don't know. Maybe I should do it like every so often, like whenever. I don't know.
You should do it so often.
Every so often. I like it.
set myself, like, you know, when you're doing your New Year's resolutions, I did it a couple years ago to do it once or twice a year, and that's when I started with the February. But then I wanted to do another month. But it's same thing he says. There's always somebody's birthday. I'm always traveling out of town. I'm always in somewhere where somebody's gonna try to put a bottle down my throat. Because that's what they know me as. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be that guy no more.
It's true.
So how was March 1st?
Not even.
He didn't make it to March 1st.
No.
Say
Well,
the truth.
But there's some technical things. I technically started January 26th because I knew his Wednesday. No, January 27th because I knew his Wednesday was January 26th, and I drank at 12 o'clock at technically.
Okay. I don't know who timed them.
Right.
I don't know who timed you, but
I did.
Okay. All right.
And the thing is, I almost didn't drink, but I told enough people that I was gonna drink that Wednesday. That I was like, nah, like everybody was like gunning, like, yo, at 12 you're having a drink, and I was like, ah, fuck.
I actually ended up drinking the 26th because this is my, grand closing party, and like I had to. But since then, I haven't really drank anything. Yeah. So it's, I guess it's all in the mindset. It's not that I want to take a month off and then drink like hell the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I want to, gradually slow down. So, okay, I drank the 26th. I got fucked up. Fine, the whole weekend. It was Dominican Independence Day weekend. I traveled. I drank every day. But now I'm going to, for the next 2
You gotta
3, 4
relax.
weeks,
You gotta
I'm
relax.
gonna relax. You know what I'm saying? Take it easy.
It's a balance. It's balance with everything,
So that's
I
what I'm trying to get to.
Can't say the same with my habit, but I don't drink that much. I drink like when I go out, occasionally.
But that's what he's saying. We go out every day.
But y'all go out more. But I remember that. I used to go out every day too back in the day, and I used to drink all the time, so it does catch up on you. And I also smoke, so that's just not a good mixture together.
I'll be really honest. I think with the smoking, I think it's a little different because I feel smoking doesn't take like you could once you drink to a certain point, you're out of control out of your body. I'm not saying smoking doesn't do that to you, but it has a different effect. It's more of a mental, relaxing thing if that's the way you take it. You understand what I'm saying? Once you could...
Yeah, you could definitely control the smoke.
You could be drinking for 20 years, no matter what. Alcohol is alcohol. Once it gets all in your blood system, you're getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So I feel smoking is a little different. It's not like... I don't feel like people should, like, if I don't know. I think it's... Smoking is different in that sense.
Smoking Cosigns.
Yeah, I don't mind smoking, but like I don't the mixture of doing them both and just
That's bad, man.
Or you know what I'm
been
saying?
there.
All week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday, and then starting it back next Thursday.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even know how that feels.
Yeah.
Strain of weed in my life.
Yeah, right. And all people. So, it's thank you for coming, bro. DJ
Nah.
Stutters in the building. Shout out to
Bum
you.
rush real quick.
Made it. Made it.
Yeah, you made it. Shout
gotta
out to
come
you.
back
You
one
got
day.
your own podcast and shit. I've been wanting to get.
I took a. This is more than a break what I'm taking, but it's just. I mean, podcast, man. You got to be real dedicated to it, man.
You gotta
There's
just be, yeah, I
you
get.
got
I
to be
know.
real dedicated to it, man. And I've had my peaks and valleys with it, and like, so it's like now I'm just at a point like, to be really honest, I saw it going more down. I was like, I don't want to shoot my idea. Like, I don't want to shoot this thing that I created. I don't want to like shoot it like to the ground completely.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just stop it, and then when I do revisit it, like really know what it is I have to do to make it, to keep it going. And I rather not.
Your podcast was pretty dope. You had
It
the
was.
ad-libs, you had the bombs, and
Yeah, no, it was, and I had a few things going. I have some real dope interviews on there.
yeah, I heard a
Santo's
few.
one of them, Nino's one of them, and I have some people that I look up to and some really dope stories, but they would just get into a point where it was just like canceling with the guests and then like trying to filter in what's in between, and then I felt like I was just putting out. I felt like I got to the point where I was just putting out a podcast just to put it out. I was like, there's no real content there, so. If it's
Yeah, I
just
get what
me
you're
and
saying.
Tuto speaking, I was just like, some of it was good, but some of it is just like, nah, like, and plus when you're paying for
Yeah, that
for a
doesn't
session,
help.
and then you
good.
come out not satisfied.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like if I come out of a session with me and Tuto speaking and it was dope, but then if it's just a conversation of me and Tuto, like we could have had that on the phone.
Yeah, you could record it on the phone too. If you
don't sell
wanted
yourself
to.
short.
No, I'm just playing.
Well, no, I'm not selling myself short, but I was just like, I'd rather put
No, I see what you're saying.
No.
put quality,
Yeah,
quality
I see
out
what
there just to say, oh, I got a podcast.
Nah, but you was definitely consistent doing it, and you had some definitely dope interviews and some dope people on there.
Yeah.
And I like the whole idea of what you was doing.
It is a niche. It is a niche following though. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Because you're talking about like
DJ shit.
real DJ shit on
Yeah,
some of them.
and,
You know what I mean?
and
So it's
I
like
still believe there is something, there is something to that. You know what I'm saying? I still strongly believe in what I want to
'cause
do.
everybody's a fucking DJ now. So
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot more people that's interested in listening to that
Yeah.
conversation.
you know,
than
and there's and I don't know, there's just a lot of things, but I appreciate you you saying that about my podcast.
Nah, it was dope. It was dope. I don't see nothing wrong with taking a break. Chris P did that. Shout out to Chris
Chris
P.
P's taking like three or four breaks.
And he still
I love
come back.
Chris P.
And
He
his
was the one who
show's
got me
still dope.
started.
Like I still listen to it when I
Yeah,
see that
yeah.
pop up, and he does good interviews. Like,
He texts
so.
me every so often. He'd be like, "Yo, I'm back." I'm like, oh, God. I was like, all right.
Now he's being pretty consistent. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if it's
It's hard to
if
do
I put like a
anything.
fire under his ass or
Yeah,
something.
bro. It's that's the hardest thing, just to always be. And
Plus, you hot out here in these streets, man. You gotta be at these clubs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta get this bread. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like and
When you
that was
start thinking about retirement, then you pick up the podcast. Like, all right, I'm gonna take a few nights off.
Yeah,
Start getting
like-
some advertising money with this podcast or something.
So speaking of the streets, and speaking of that, I got 3 veteran DJs in here. I would say, in my eyes, in Connecticut, in the nightlife. Like,
Where are we going with this, man?
how the hell do y'all see the nightlife in the last few? Like in the last few years, it's just been going drastically downhill. Is it just me, or is it?
Depends how you look on it.
Nah, nightlife has definitely gone down in all aspects. Quality.
Yeah, because it's just like
everything.
the quality is
And not
the
only
key
here,
thing.
it actually happens everywhere. You know,
It's
for
pretty
those of
much-
us, who travel gigs other places, we might go dope parties, but like, on other nights, that same location is suffering. So it definitely has gone down in quality and just overall. People rather go to a small bar, hang out. They don't want to do big clubs. Big clubs
Yeah,
are so
but
difficult nowadays. So difficult.
So so that's all y'all agree on that? Well,
Yeah.
you said you was 50-50 on
Well,
it.
no,
So are you
I
killing the
depends on-
college crowds and
No,
stuff like that?
Well, I'm saying like it depends on how you look at it, because like you said, the big clubs right now are suffering, but then the little intimate spots are winning. But
So
the same,
nightlife is. So what you're saying is, my bad to cut you off. Nightclubs are suffering.
I feel that
Nightlife is still there.
I think nightlife is still there, but it's weird now. I will say it's just weird. People, you know, I don't know. People just rather be like I'm saying in our world, in our DJ world. I feel people rather if they know their friend, there's a DJ, they rather have their friend be the DJ than have a quality DJ there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It's just weird, bro. It's just I do feel it's at a weird spot.
Is it now? Let me ask you this: Is it because there's too many?
Okay, all right. Oh, now you guys are gonna agree. I just told them that in the beginning.
No, I do agree. It sucks, but it's just I don't know. It depends on how you look.
It's like is it like
don't
is it like
be humble? He's like it depends how you look. No, it's whack, bro.
Is it because everybody's a DJ? Everybody's a promoter.
That's one.
Everybody, like, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody's a host. That's the.
But
I mean, I can go on and on.
Compared to
I love this subject. We could talk shit all day.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Is it whack compared to like what we're familiar and what we kind of came up with, or is it just because this is a different day and age? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Are people still having fun?
I don't think so.
I think people.
If the fun is not there, like I feel like
no, they're turning up. They're getting drunk and going home.
I feel that, but what I'm trying to say, I feel that's what their fun is now.
But why?
I have no idea.
I mean, obviously, you know, it's like cell phones. We know like cell phones have a lot to do with it now.
Yeah.
Before, I think, and like the VIP has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? Because before you would go and you could just be one out of 500 people. And you could just be there to have a good time and dance.
Back in the day, high school parties.
You're there to go have fun. That's what you're going there. Now it's like you're going there. You know, you got to be sectioned off. You got to be part of the cool kids. You know what I mean?
You got to have a bottle.
Yeah.
You got to do this.
You got to like now. You don't want to look corny and be on somebody's snap or on somebody's live, getting caught up. You know, grinding on some fucking ass that you shouldn't be grinding on. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think that's what fucked up the club, honestly.
Yeah, because before when
it was
before
social
the big cell
media.
phones, you would just have to worry about a few promoters dropping pictures and okay, do I spot myself?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well,
Yo, you gotta
really,
you better be cool with the
like,
promoters so they can take it down when they do fuck up.
I think social media, definitely, phones, definitely. The decrease in value in VIP service, like bottles being so cheap, and sad to say because I think I started this in Connecticut, or I did for a fact, the hookah business.
Yeah,
has ruined nightlife.
The hookah business.
Yeah, definitely. That's all part of social media.
That's
of
I've always said it's a big shitstorm of
bad
what
bitches,
he just said.
Bad bitch wave. Like,
well, because hookah's a lounge thing. Like hookah's you fucking when you smoke a cigarette or some tobacco, like you're kind of kicking back.
Yeah.
So to introduce that to like the nightlife, now you kind of like you taking the energy back a little. And so instead of turning up, it's more like okay, I'm gonna relax, kind of chill.
Yeah, that's how I get it too.
And it became to a point where people would go to a lesser quality spot because they had hookah.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's where it's now. Yeah.
That's where it is. So people rather if
no one wants to invest in a damn club.
Some people would rather go to a spot that's considered like on our level, like just a hole in the wall because they do have hookah. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think what it comes down to is like, okay, if you want to go out and you want to have a chill night and smoke hookah, that's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? But the people that don't offer hookah, what are you doing to bring the people in? What else are you offering?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else are you bringing to the table outside of just opening up the doors, having a DJ, and having some bartenders half-ass serving your drinks? You know what I'm saying? So it's like how we was talking about the themes with El Nino earlier. Being creative and having themes. Like somebody will go out to a special event. They don't have to be hookah there as long as it's something else that they can be able to do while they're there. So I think the lack of creativity. True. So I want to just I think hookah might have a little bit to do with it, but I think hookah is probably the least of our concerns when it comes to this nightlife shit right now. Yeah, man.
It's also.
I think the VIP played a bigger role. You know what I'm saying?
Because now everybody's VIP.
Yeah, everybody's VIP.
Exactly. That and giving away the house like we spoke about earlier off mic, where it's just like, you got all these promoters and club owners just competing with each other, and now there's a sense of entitlement from the customer. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now convince me to go to your place.
Yeah.
Like, what are you offering me?
And now,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be like a fucking menu.
Now,
you ever got that from girls? They're like, what are you giving me?
Yeah,
it's like.
And now, since everybody's their own like superstar in their own world, in their phone,
world,
in their social media phone, so now they go out and they feel they're just as important as when they're really not. You understand what I'm saying? Just they.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But that's a really key word. The self entitlement of people. Yeah. They go out and they feel like they're they're the party, they're the main attraction. And so when you get everybody feeling that they're the main attraction, then it's just.
Well, you know that gave birth to the whole
hosting.
situation.
Yeah, hosting. Everybody's a host.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Everybody is
a host,
important now.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as
When
you
they're
get
not,
that
I'm
flyer.
Yeah, people get mad at me when I be talking this shit on Facebook, but it's the truth. It's how I feel. It's what it is.
It's
You know,
true,
I've been
though.
there from before, and then they'll be, you know, why you talking shit? But whatever. It's just what it is, bro. I've been here since before, you know, you were doing it. So I see the change, and it's not for the better. I don't think it's for the better. Because then you got everybody entitled thinking you got to give them the world just for them to show up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who are you? Like, what do you...
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? If you show up and... Listen, I will get it. If you come to a club, you know, you show up and you spend money. You know what I'm saying? You buy bottles, you do whatever, you spend money. But you got these people who are entitled, who then top of that, they don't want you to give them the bottle half price.
Yeah.
You know, they don't like, yo, get my girls in. Or, yo, me and my boys coming through. They don't want to dress up no more. Like,
I want to put a hat on. I want to put a sweater on.
I
Yeah.
think too. I think one of the credits that I would have to give to Van Dome, and I think one of the reasons why Van Dome has been so successful is because they never adopted that idea of like the VIPs. Like you go to Van Dome and you're just, you
No
know, you go to
bottle
Van, you know what to
service.
expect.
bottle
You know what I mean?
service,
You know,
yeah.
you're gonna go to Van Dome
Yeah.
with a group of friends, and you're gonna just be equal to everybody else that's there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So the bottle service.
That's actually the reason why they do it.
think
I try to convince him a couple of times over the years, like, yo, we got to do bottle service.
Yeah,
we got to
yeah.
do bottle service. And he's just like, no, I want the older couple that comes in to feel on the same level as the young kids coming in.
Yep.
That's
Because
good.
the young kids will do, and this is the owner's words, like, they'll drink their bottle, they'll take the bottle, and they'll walk around holding it like they're better than everyone else.
Yep. That's
And I want
100%
everybody
true.
to feel the same. Plus, obviously, they make more money by, you know, selling the liquor instead of selling a bottle. But
Which is also is a big part of it too, because now you got staff that shows up to work, ready to work, because you guys are not cutting corners and they know that they can walk away with a nice amount
Check.
of money at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Versus when you're giving away the house and you got staff that doesn't even want to show up to work because they're not really making no money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then properly training staff and having an expectation. I think it's like anybody that's familiar with the nightlife knows Van Dome, and when it comes to bartenders, that like there's a certain level of expectation.
yeah.
And they're
that
professional.
and I think
Yeah.
that they because you know Van Dome can afford to do that. That's important. You know what I mean? A lot of places they can't afford to hire the right staff or hire the person that does have experience and things like that because they're giving away the house. You know what I'm saying? And I think like Shrine also has been successful because Shrine actually they do VIP service, but they do it right.
They do it right the way.
They charge the premium price where VIP is supposed to be charged, and it filters out all of the bullshit.
And
you know what I'm
also,
saying?
I feel, me and Santo came in the tail end of like nightlife the way it was.
Yeah.
But VIP used to be that. It used to be trained servers who would pour your drinks. You know what I'm saying? And they would and you were.
Some places
legitly-
even have dedicated people just to you,
Yep.
to your VIP. Because you only
That's how
have 5
Shrine is.
That's what I'm
VIPs
trying
and
to
you have
say.
your own person.
That's what I'm trying to say. So like they have professional servers, and you were legitly VIP. You were separated. It wasn't, VIP was you were separated in your own section.
And not to mention like the legal part of it.
The legal part.
So
of
it's
it.
like, so now if you got somebody that's trained as a bartender pouring your drinks, then they know when to cut you off and they know how
Exactly.
much should be going into your cup. When you leave it up to, us
Yeah, exactly.
pour our own
cup
drinks,
and put it in a little
we're
bit
gonna
of
get
drop.
fucked up. Like you said earlier, it's fountain, you know what I mean? It's now we wilding out, and that can get dangerous. Now that's a liability.
Having
You know
your
what I'm
own
saying?
For the location and for yourself.
yeah, having your own bottle at the table, the way it is now, is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know,
It
it's
is
illegal in some
definitely
places, right?
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's illegal in
Like
most.
Virginia, some places you can't.
You can't,
Like,
like-
no, they'll put your bottle, but in your table you can buy it, but they'll lock it up. When you want to drink, you ask the server. They'll come to your table. They'll open up the lock and they'll serve you.
Chacho, that's real.
Yeah. Virginia's like that. There's a couple other places,
Also,
but
Virginia is also
Virginia
isn't Virginia a open carry state? So
No, Virginia.
Oh,
You
no?
can't do shit in Virginia.
Oh,
Like,
no?
you try getting caught with weed in Virginia. And see how
oh
that goes.
shit! I thought Virginia was like
Yeah, Virginia's
like
real.
like cowboys out there.
I done heard a lot of
wilding.
Florida trip stories.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm-
they going
might be
through
it's not the
Texas.
turn
Virginia.
up. It's not the turn up. State.
No,
It's the same.
I thought Virginia was like crazy, like cowboys out there.
Nah, not like that. Definitely. But I think some of the things we're talking about definitely have to do with the decline in nightlife. The social media.
Yeah.
The hookah,
That
the
was-
VIP
yeah.
service. The dropping.
It's all. I think it's all a storm of everything.
Yeah.
So
People giving away
to your
everything.
question earlier off mic though, like what's next then?
Yeah, what is next?
I asked that
You know
question on
what, though?
Facebook.
I think it's a circle. Do you think things will come back around?
I don't know, man. I don't know if
It
people are
has
gonna
to if they want to make any
Eventually,
money.
but
You know when
when?
everything goes to shit and then everything has to come like back around. You never know.
Like in what? Like
I'm saying like
in
you
what
know
way?
like when everything just.
I know, but
It-
what is coming back around? Like
I'm saying like back.
Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesday.
No, I'm saying like
Hey, listen, and that's no disrespect to people
No,
who
no.
are
It
doing
might take-
because I know some of the
it might
people who
take
are
a few
doing
years.
those events, and that's to me is different. A Taco Tuesday, you know, it's a party, but you label it Taco Tuesday. Like I think that's cool. I think some people always get offended when I write some shit on Facebook. So I think some
Right,
of
with
the
the
promoters
fucking
gotta
with the
say-
disclaimers already.
yeah.
All right.
I'm saying I think everything does have like I think it'll take a few years, but I think it might get back to like this gets so saturated that it has to go back to the way it was. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you think the music
might-
has
it might
anything
not.
to
That's what
do
I'm
with
saying.
it?
Like
I mean, it has to like nightlife and fun has to exist somewhere. So if it's not in the
Exactly.
club, you know, all right. So the bars picked it up for a while, but now you got like kickbacks. You know what I mean? Like the house parties and stuff like that. Now you probably got like people going out to friends' house more often.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so I don't think like having fun is going anywhere, but it's
No.
just that from what we know as far as like that nightlife we're familiar with, it's hard, man. I don't think that's coming back anytime soon unless like we all put our foot down and have some
Exactly.
sort of like standards.
Yeah, that's
And have some sort of union. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Well,
the only
talking
way
about
it's
what
gonna
you were
come
saying
back.
about the VIP and stuff. Like I've been to places where I see VIP girls hosts, you know, that they'll go and just drop off your bottle and you know they don't pour your first drink. They don't follow up with you. They don't pour ice in your bucket.
Yeah.
Like you have all these girls with nice bodies and shitty personalities who think there are because they have a lot of followers that they can do this or they can do that. And just the whole VIP quality service is just down the drain. It's not.
So we
Yeah.
need you to
be ambassador
step up,
to
my man.
this.
We need you to step up,
You the
my man.
ambassador.
You know,
Let's get this union popping, man.
I feel like when I speak about nightlife on Facebook, I know you guys have a Facebook. You know, I'll be going on my little rants. I feel it. I say those things because I feel them, and I see you know where we were to where we at now, and it's just a shame. Like nightlife was so fun. It was so good. It was when we were coming up, it was such a good time, and now it's like I don't know if the music necessarily has something to do with it. It might though, but
what did you say? The music?
because he asked before. What do
I'm
you think
asking,
the
I don't
music-
know.
I think the music also there is a
The mumble rap. You're gonna blame mumble rap for that?
no, I'm not blaming mumble rap. But I'm not blaming mumble rap. But the thing is also everybody since there is so much access to music.
Everybody's a DJ now.
Everybody's DJ. I feel
Everybody
and
wants the aux cord.
I've been saying this for years. I feel everybody wants their iPad to be played their iPad or their phone to be played in a club the way they want to hear it. So they don't mind hearing the same song 3 times. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't mind it because it's their favorite song in that moment. So I just feel
I think it's harder to DJ because of that.
it
It's harder
is.
to DJ because of that.
And
for sure.
and also,
I
I
feel-
mean, we can only speak from Connecticut. We're talking about Connecticut. People show up dumb late. So then, as a DJ, we gotta try to cram.
And I don't know why, because it doesn't like the club close early. I mean, late. It closes early.
and then people get there
I'll tell you one of the reasons.
half an hour for half hour to 45 minutes of party. So us as a DJ, we want to save the big records for the big moments. Or I'm just like that's like something that we try to do. And then what happens? We try to cram everything.
Yeah, we never properly go through the motions of
Exactly.
the 4-step process that goes into
Exactly.
the vibe of the night. You know what I mean? Like
know,
the warm up, yeah.
Because
But what were you gonna? I'm
Yeah.
interested to know what
Yeah.
you.
It maybe you guys never really thought of this, but it's I think it's one of the reasons for it. It's an economical issue. If you get to a club later, you're gonna spend less money. You're gonna drink less, and you're gonna spend less money. If you get there early, plus if you get there early, if I get someplace at 10 o'clock by 11:30, my ass is gonna be on the floor. I'm gonna be dumb late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe you don't want to get that fucked up, so you show up late,
That could
and
make sense.
also you don't spend as much money, and that's just
that's
basically it.
yeah. But the pregame, I remember even me going out before. I mean, I'm talking about years ago. I remember me going out and the pregame. Pregame's always been there, like pregame before you go out. But you still want to, if you're going out, you still want to get there to enjoy your time. I feel people get in there just
I've never pre-gamed, but I've seen people pre-gaming. Like I will show up to Van Dome, I see people in the parking lot drinking
in the car.
But they're early. When I get there, they're already drinking, so they'll walk in early and they're already drunk and they'll have the good time, their night, boom, and go home. Like these people are pre-gaming and show up to a club at 12. Like they're pre-gaming at what 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like so I don't. I never pre-game, so I don't know the mechanics of it, but they're still showing up late.
Mechanics of pre-game.
It's I don't know.
I definitely think it's I think it's an economical thing.
It's just a windstorm of
you spend less money.
everything.
I think that makes the most sense what you said.
Wait, Santos, do you think the music has anything to do with it?
Not on the quality of the music or what you were saying, the access to the music. 'Cause those are two different things.
A little bit of both.
I mean, I think the access to the music has a huge part to do with it because, like you said, is everybody. If you're not playing what's on their particular playlist,
They don't fuck with you. You're
then
the
it's
worst
like
DJ.
now they feel like the sense of entitlement again, where it's like, okay, they can go to a house party and just plug in their phone and have fun doing that. It's harder for them to trust somebody to curate their vibe because they're used to doing it themselves. Before you would have to like rely on a DJ or rely on whatever mixtape came out or rely on putting on the radio to help set the tone for the vibe of your night.
Yeah.
Now you could do that yourself, so it's harder for the DJ to kind of crack that where it's like, all right, trust me, because that's where it is. That's where DJing comes in. It's like we have to convince the crowd to trust us.
Yeah.
To trust us with the rest of their night and to put their guard down. You know what I mean? Like, let your guard down, be comfortable, trust me, and know that you could take a ride with me. And even if I play a song that you might not love, know that I'm doing it for a reason and I'm going to get somewhere with it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like the attention span. Like, I need what I want now. I'm getting there later.
The
like you said,
generation, yeah.
I want to walk in. I want to turn up. So it's like a demanding thing in a way where it kind of makes it harder for the DJ.
And I've been even where I get a little bit like, I'll say on the mic, like, I know what I'm doing. I got you. Relax. Like,
you gotta relax.
But now it's I've noticed that I've I never like to rely. I feel like relying on like talking and hosting is like a crutch for DJs.
Yeah, it is.
So like I'll use it if I have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having to like more and more walk people through the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Exactly.
And take off your jacket. Go grab a drink.
Get
There's
situated.
hookah available. Why don't you fucking...
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta like... So now I'm like... Now it's not just about playing music and being in... Now I gotta fucking host.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's two different jobs, really.
And what you said, like... We have to walk people... Like, we have to, like, announce certain things that we shouldn't have to announce. You understand? Like, get situated. Go grab a drink.
Excuse me, bottles coming through. But she got the 1942. That's
we have to walk people through the night, and that was something that before, like,
that's actually what Ronsta did on Wednesday. You had people come in 1942, but excuse me, esa botella cara. Boom.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That was hilarious.
That's actually a good thing. We have to walk people now through the night because if not, they want their shit right then and there.
So yeah, and then there's so much music coming out too, you know. So
we're going to blame the internet. It all goes back to blaming the internet. Because before, to get music, you had to be
the internet fucked up a lot of things.
In the record pool, so not everybody had access to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's how I got my music, through record pools. I've been in record pools since '95. I would get music, so I would only have, you know. But now everybody has access to it. You know, internet, download the video. An artist will drop an album today, tomorrow he'll have all the videos up in his channel to get that revenue. You know what I'm saying? And
also, and we discover music that we want to play throughout the night, and then we're just like, fuck, man, like, let me get this record off real quick, like.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of music too.
We're like jumping off the ledge playing a new record now.
Yeah,
you don't know how people are gonna react. You know what I'm saying?
It could literally stop the whole fucking party. It could literally stop the whole fucking party, my nigga. Like,
he said that with experience. Like, that happened.
I have.
You know what he's talking about.
Yo, that shit could literally stop. Like, it could just like.
I always have that next record. Like, if I
of course.
After that.
That's
to kind of rescue yourself.
It's like chess DJing. It's like chess. You gotta be like 2-3 moves ahead again.
I'm always, whenever I'm playing a song, just know I have the next 2 to 3 songs already lined up.
And it's not set in stone either. It could change.
It could change
by the vibes.
This is where I'm headed. But if something happens, where it could change. Plenty of audibles get pulled, but you want to know.
You have to.
Because you talking with DJs that are like, we play different genres, so like, how am I gonna get from this tempo playing like a típico or merengue or whatever to play like salsa or play a hip hop record?
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna go from one and smacking with the other. So now I gotta figure out transitions, I got to think 2, 3, 4 songs ahead to figure out how I'm going to get from here to there.
Over there.
That goes with taking the ride with me. Like, you got to take the ride with me to know that I'm going to curate a vibe to get to where you're going to
get there. Because I know I've been to parties where they come up to you and they're like, yo, you playing Spanish music, and they come up, want some Little Baby, and you like, all right, give me a minute, I got you. And then you have to go through like a whole maneuver just to play that.
Honest,
and they want you to play it right now. Like,
they'll get mad at you. That's
from our first song to our last song, everything's a lead up to what we're doing. Yeah. Everything is like, everything's a piece of the puzzle. Like, we have to finish this puzzle. So from our first song to the last one, it's like everything's a lead up to the next thing. So people were just like I don't know. I think people do, like, I think our corp, like our people that fuck with us at clubs, I think people do have the trust in us to know they're gonna have a good time, but at the same time they still want, like, it's their entitlement to still be like, I want this song. It's like, I know, it's like, how you gonna tell me to play the hottest song that's out? Like, you think I'm not gonna do that? You think I'm not gonna play the hottest song that's out?
Yeah, but they want it at 10:30.
But it's like, do you think I'm not gonna, like, I've asked people that. I'm like, do you really think I'm not gonna play that song tonight?
You gotta relax. That's basically what it is all coming down to. Everybody has to relax.
Well, not from on a local level. I want to take a second to acknowledge DJ Perfect and what he's doing, because he is going out of his way to maintain that control. Yeah. Like you seen, like, one time we hung out at Perfections, me and Stutters, and like I didn't even know he was doing it like this. He'll be like, all right, a drink special. He'll announce a drink special and turn off the music.
Until the
drink special's done. Yeah. And or if, like, let's say he's like, okay, I need 2 girls, 3 girls on the bar, he'll turn off the music, and unless the crowd listens to him, he will challenge, like, no, that I am.
This is my
and that's
shit.
the thing about, like, why I like to go to reggae parties still, to get my inspiration, is because, like, when you go to a reggae party, and like a lot of the Jamaican DJs, like, they still maintain that control of the night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, nah, like, fuck that. I know it's 12 o'clock. They don't take requests either. Yeah, I know it's 12 o'clock and you're expecting this, but I'm playing this.
And then I big it up.
And you're going to deal with it. And then I'm going to play it to the point where I'm going to get you right on the edge. Right on the edge, to the point where you almost ready to walk out or curse me out. Right on the edge. And then I'm going to take it a step, and then I'm going to hit you with it. Now it means that much more when you finally get it. And it's that much more fulfillment. So like Perfect and the reggae DJs and stuff like that, like, they're still maintaining that control of the crowd. They're not bound down to.
He definitely got control.
That night that I went, that you and me hung out over there, I was just like, holy shit! Like,
me and Santo too.
No, just the way he had him in the palm.
Yeah,
he had that whole club in the palm, and like he would stop the music, and then if they weren't listening, he would play, quote unquote, some wild shit, some real left field shit, and then they would sing it, and then he would stop it again, like, alright. And then he would hit him with the banger. Then he'd be like, nah, it's too early for that. And then he'll go, like, it's just.
His way.
Yeah, man.
I gotta go check him out then.
I always said that Perfect's a different breed, though. He's a different breed.
He got his own world.
He's a different breed.
Community.
Exactly.
He built his own thing where he DJs how he wants, plays with
he talks to them how he wants. He does whatever he wants.
And at the end of the day, it's his spot. So if you don't like it, he doesn't care. Like,
and he doesn't mind telling you get the fuck out. Like, he
doesn't
mind.
El Nino's like, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm going to Perfection.
Yeah, I want to go. It's my kind of party. I like this shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's dope. I kind of feel like that's his, like, you know, like the feeling you get, like, when you're DJing in your room in your basement. I kind of feel like that's how he feels, and he just has people there with him.
That's his house.
It's his house.
And that's how all DJs should feel. Like, any club you go to, like,
yeah,
it's my house. You know what I'm saying? And,
but he always,
and I'm gonna make sure you have a good time.
Yeah,
just trust me. Like, that's it.
But that's how he is everywhere. Like, I done seen him do that in so many other clubs. Like, his house is a little bit more, because he controls the bar specials. He controls this, and he could. Yeah. I want $5 drinks right now. It's $5, $2 drinks. He can say that, like.
Yeah.
But, like, he done did some wild shit at other clubs, and I'm like, wow, this guy is out of control.
Like, calling out drink specials for, like, yo, next 10 minutes we got this. I know white people spots still do that, but
every once in a while you'll run into something. I think now it's like bottles, like, oh, you know, we got
bottle special. $100 bottles, 125.
11 o'clock.
Yeah. But I mean, throughout the night. I don't mean like prior, like in flyers. I mean, like throughout the night. Like people, you know.
Why they DJing?
Yeah. The DJ will come up and we'll just say, Jameson shots for $1 or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
They don't do that really no more. That's the only place I've seen in like a long time, long time.
I know places where Caucasians go to party. They still do that often, but I know like urban or Latino parties, they don't do that no more. Yeah. Not at all. Doesn't happen. Or at least I haven't seen it.
This was a great conversation. Finding out how shitty our nightlife has been in the last year in Connecticut.
Well, no, we just not saying the shitty, but at least we getting some sort of painting a picture of why we feel like it's
and hopefully some club owners will take that into their head and do something. I doubt it.
Nah,
they don't know how to. They don't know how to buy equipment right. They don't got airs.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I think right now. It is a little promising because I'm seeing a lot of the more like DJs doing their own shit. You know,
taking control,
and not relying on the promoter, not relying on the club owner to be booked. You know what I mean? And I think that is a step in the right direction because a DJ out of everybody knows the importance of the vibe and curating that experience that we're talking about. So I think the more DJs that are taking the nightlife into their own hands and doing their own thing, I think that's a step in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So, no, nothing against the promoters or nothing against the owners. We love you guys, too, and we want to be able to work together. But you got to understand, at the end of the day, like, the importance of not even the second you walk into the club. The second the announcement gets made for the party is when the experience starts. All the way up until the end. And I think everybody from the bar back to the promoter, to the owner, to the DJ, all should play an equal role in the experience. And I think until that understanding happens and we get out of that, okay, I'm the owner, I call the shots, or I'm the DJ, and without me, there wouldn't be no music. And,
or
I'm the promoter, there wouldn't be without me, there wouldn't be no people. I think if we get rid of all of that shit and we start seeing each other as equals, and we come to the table, I think that I think we can have a little bit of a better outcome than what we have now.
I think promoting it's a dying art. It's fastly dying. The events that you see on social media now that people are doing, it's like, what is that?
Everybody's doing the same event too. Yeah. A lot of that's going on. There's a lot of like dumb shit going on.
I watch what Santo has been doing for years, and I like the amount of effort and work he put into events. Because I've been there, so I know how much work he's putting. So I admire that because I know it's fucking time consuming.
Yeah. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why he's one of my idols, because he works so damn hard.
We were talking about his brunch after dark. I told him that was a dope idea. I really like what he was doing with that, so I was giving him props for that. But prior to that, the all out experience, and prior to that, when you started doing stuff at Lotus, where you were filming those little mini movies to promote the event, that was dope. I never got that far into it because my acting is terribly bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff.
He was the first person to do stuff like that, and that was dope. You know what I'm saying? That's creative. What are these guys offering?
I remember Santo was the first nigga to know how to put videos on Instagram.
I don't want to make this everybody eyes on Santos, but I've always credited Santos for thinking outside the box. Even this is years ago, because I remember like me and Santos we would get up and he would tell me ideas like, we're like, I want to do this different and this, and then like he'll make it come to life. So I'm always like, like Santos always like I've always championed Santos.
I appreciate it. It took a long time for people to like get my ideas and be like, okay, like I'm with it, because before it was just like, all right, everything that I would speak of, even to like my circle, would be like, all right, like you're shooting for the stars. Now it's a little different. Now it's like, yo, Mills, I want to throw a party on the moon. He's gonna ask me when the date is. Because he knows I'm crazy enough that if I come up with an idea, I'm gonna follow it through, whether it works or it doesn't. I'm gonna give my
just look at the brunch after dark. Everybody's doing brunch. What does he do? Brunch after dark.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's still that word brunch is in there. That's popular.
It's basically a dinner party.
It's a different spin on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Different spin on a lot of things. Shout out to Santo.
For doing actual promoting.
Man, and like you
not
said,
offering people anything. Like it's just the same, like you said, the same party over and over. There's nothing.
Yeah.
We
had a lot of different.
I think as a promoter, if you rely solely on your bartenders with fat asses, or like if you rely heavy on the whole sexual part of it, you really have nothing else to offer. So once one of those girls leaves, or the girls all decide to leave, what else you got? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're relying on that too much. You're not giving people an experience. Example being like, recently, the last couple of years, people now, if there's no hookah in a place, they don't want to go. first of all, when I started doing hookahs, nobody was doing hookahs. You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't do hookahs.
And now all of a sudden, like, okay, you don't got hookah, you don't want to go to a party. So if you really rely on that to get people in the door, so if you lose the hookahs, everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
You lose the girls, everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
So like, give people another reason. Not only get a great DJ, but offer them an experience.
Yeah.
Properly train your staff so
Just
they know that
basics,
everybody
exactly.
just.
It's basics, and
it's
trust me,
basic
you've
stuff.
been doing
It's
this.
I mean, it's
basic
common sense to me, but apparently it's not common sense
It's
to
not.
other people.
It's not. It's
Because
too much for
everybody,
club
just like you
owners.
said, from the janitor to the bottle girl, everybody should be on board that customer service is A1. We want this person to have a good time.
Yeah.
So they'll come back, because the most potent promotion is word of mouth. I had a good time over there. It was dope.
And
Whatever. We turned up. We was litty, bro. Heady.
But not for nothing.
Yeah,
Look at Van Dome. They got the parking guy. As soon as you walk up, he like, you know what I'm saying? Either he's greeting you or you getting a parking spot. You paying for parking spot. With Santo, though, we get kind of VIP parking in the front. You know what I'm saying? We walk in.
You have to put that in there.
It took a long time.
We walk in. There's, you know what I'm saying? The security guard has pretty much been there a while. He knows who we are.
What the thing with that is just consistency.
Yeah, it's
Talking
just-
about.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the I's being dotted and T's being crossed
And it's-
across the board. You know what you're gonna get. You know the service to expect when you go there. And I think that's what we're talking about. Just the consistency and having the basics covered. Like, it might seem like fucking, a hard task for some, but bruh, like, we in the day and age of like, you can find out anything on fucking YouTube or just asking somebody.
Hell
If you're
yeah.
getting into the business, you should at least know the basics of customer service at
Exactly.
least. Across the board, not even just like customer service in nightlife, but just the ideology of what customer service brings to a business in general. Like, understand just the basics, you know what I mean? And then, but I think people were just like, oh, let me just book a venue, book a DJ, and I got a party.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
Everybody can do one
There's
party.
a lot of
I think anybody who sets their mind to it, especially with the social media, they set to do one party, you could make it a success. But having a weekly party,
That's
bringing people back week after week, that's difficult.
exactly.
That's really
Yeah, that is
difficult.
difficult.
And also, there's
That's the reason why I don't
another.
got a residency right now.
There's also a component
lot of work,
that
huh?
since everybody knows everybody, like everybody knows the owner, everybody knows the promoter. So right then and there, like that's where like people like I feel like, oh, like I should get this type of, I should be treated better than
Because I know.
other people because everybody knows the owner. Because now you go to these spots and the owner's just out there.
Yep.
Before you wouldn't even know who the fuck the owner was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
understand what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
Or just taking shots with the fucking DJs.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not taking shots.
I would be that kind of owner though. Like I like to,
But I'm just saying, bro.
It's
It's
like the
getting
owner of Van Dome.
ridiculous.
Most people still don't know who that guy is.
I don't.
I think that's beautiful. though.
For years.
But I think, but
Listen, for the first,
but I think that cuts down a lot of at the door. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that cuts out like, oh, I know that guy, I know this guy, and I think that's why like Van Dome has their professionalism shows like of the stuff you said. Like,
It does.
You know.
the owner be
And
out
that's
there
crossing the
sweeping.
I's and dotting the T's. All right, so enough with Connecticut's born. Needs to be worked on nightlife. I'm gonna put it like that, and I'm gonna go on with. I'm gonna just ask y'all as DJs what y'all want to do next. Like, do you see yourself being a DJ forever, or do you have like another goal for yourself? Like, starting with Stutters because you right here.
Yeah, we could do
You on circle.
I'm gonna be really honest. I'm in a weird position, so it's like I'm in a weird position in my quote unquote career. But I'm gonna be really honest. I do see myself DJing. I love the physical act of DJ. I love to DJ. Like if you had a set out, I just would love just to get on. Like I love to DJ. But I mean,
like doing the nightclubs and
I
doing all
don't
of
see
this.
myself doing the nightclubs my whole life, but I do see myself always being involved with DJing and but I'm gonna be really honest. I'm right now. I'm like deciding on what I want to do next. Whether
Cause you do a lot of like sound things. You do a lot of
like I
other
would like to
things.
get into stuff like that. I want to do anything related into this
to
realm,
music.
and into this realm of DJing and music or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you need to start producing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
You need to start producing. Are these remixes?
Yeah, he got mad hits. Like,
Well, we'll see.
stop playing.
I mean,
Let's do it.
Stop turning
Stop
red,
being
bro.
scared, bro.
He's
No,
telling you something. Stop turning red.
What is wrong with you, Stutters?
Yeah.
I'm just in a
Put him on the pressure.
I
You got a close up. You got a close up.
don't know. I'm just like in that crossroads right now of like really figuring out like because I've been DJing more in my life than I haven't been DJing now. I'm at that point. So it's just like but I don't see myself getting tired of quote unquote DJing itself.
Yeah, you love the game.
I just love to DJ, like to DJ. That's what I love.
Okay.
So
what about you, El Nino? Because you do a lot of stuff.
I do. I do a lot of different things. As far as DJing goes, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be DJing more than 10 years. And that's stretching it. I don't think I'm definitely going to be DJing 10 years. Or just, I don't want to say nightlife. I'll probably still do events, but I'll do other kind of events. I like
behind the
planning.
scenes.
Yeah, I like planning, putting together, going. If people would know the lens, and I don't like Santo, for example. Santo has his team of people, that work with him, and other promoters have their team of people. For the most part, all my career, it's been just me.
Oh, that's real.
So
that's
all
real.
the things that whether I've had a success or a failure, it's only one person to blame, is me. If something didn't go right, it's me because I did it. If enough people didn't go, it's because I didn't get the word out there enough. But
it's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. That's why I'm stepping back. But putting together an event, I love to still do that. If people just have the slightest idea of the stuff that I personally go through to put an event together.
Oh, I know.
Like some of the stuff I'm doing for brunch now, I'm doing. I don't want to ruin surprises, but to do research and to do things, I sometimes have to get out of my comfort zone to do. And one of those is for the event that you're going to be partaking in. So I had to kind of do some stuff, which I don't want to say yet, but I had to do some stuff that's questionable to get to where I got. So planning events.
I want to know. I think we should know.
Well, March,
by the time this podcast come out, it's probably gonna happen.
Okay, well, listen, March 29th, show up to when he's there, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then when you see it together, you're like, okay, well, that's whatever. But then just ask me, how was that put together? And then I'll tell you which is interesting.
Okay, even what he's talking about, I'm even excited for it because I'm also preparing on my end because I want to make it interesting. I don't want to just be there doing the regular. So once he told me, I was like, I'm preparing on my end also. So
that's what we do. We gotta go experience that, Santo. You gonna be around? Or you gonna be on one of these road trips?
Let's just hope people appreciate
it. Well, the thing I put into you still don't know what it is.
No, I know.
Once you see it happening, I just don't know how people are gonna react. But anyway, March 29th.
That's exciting.
That's exciting.
That's something else. But yeah, I'm still gonna put events together. DJing, I don't see you doing it for more than 10 years, and 10 years is a stretch. Yeah, really? Man, I'm not 25, bro. What do you want from me, man?
Well, no. But I'm just saying, but I don't know.
I'm still gonna be in music. I still collect music. I love music. I mean, a thing about me that a lot of people don't know is that I'm a music collector. I'm a CD collector. I have 30,000 CDs. Well, we've had the conversation. You've seen some of my collections. But
would you feel different if you were able to DJ the music you love?
It would be different because I don't play
that's my
anything
thing.
that I love.
I will love when I'm.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that. Would I love it more and do it for eternity if I play the music that I really like?
Well, I'm not saying eternity, but I'm saying because
I would do it for an eternity.
I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I want to get to the point where just DJing what I want to DJ.
That was kind of
the events that I want to DJ because I know I could have fun here. You know what I mean?
That's kind of my point. Asking him that because that's where I want to get to a point where I don't have to play I want to play music that I love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like the music I have fun with,
like boiler room style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like have it I so like that's why I say I do see myself DJing for as long as for as long as I can, but I want to get it to a point where I DJ the music that I love, and then where it's fun to me. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I asked you that.
I would love to, but nothing that I play in the club I ever listen to in my car. And my car listens to the weirdest shit.
That's 99% of DJs.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm asking you.
I'm really left field with it though. I'm really left field.
So have a fucking left field party. I'm just saying.
I don't have that kind of clientele. I don't know who would want to go to a party and listen to funk and soul or like if you ever follow me. Listen, if you ever follow me. He doesn't know
that clientele's out there. What?
Well,
obviously it's out there. That's not what he's saying, but he's saying that's going to be another responsibility he has to pick up to figure out how he's going to market and promote to get people to come there. So it's like, okay, you can show plug your laptop in, that's fun, but the preparation is going to take.
Song by song, there's still a random song to say.
No, but
I can't play Curtis Mayfield in the middle of my bachata set. That don't work. But it's just I love music. If you like follow me on social media, from time to time I'm driving and I'm just posting anything from dancehall in the '80s to Japanese funk. Like I listen to it like my
Damn.
It's,
Okay.
I listen to everything. Man. I
Okay.
really
Like
do.
we had that conversation. He put me on the He put me on to the, what was it, the Future Dance Hall? And
Yeah,
the
bass
like
hall
that.
and all that. Yeah,
like,
that sound is really
I heard you
popular
was
right
in the reggae on his podcast, that you was like in the dance hall world at one point before the Spanish world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me being, from New York, hip hop has always, been, I grew up with the whole, coming up, and then house music. And then when I moved to Connecticut in the early 90s, I don't want to say when, but when I moved to Connecticut, dancehall kind of became a thing, 91, 92, 93, and I just picked up dancehall. And this is my three loves in music. It's always been hip hop, house music, and dancehall. And I just, my knowledge
crazy.
of dancehall.
Spanish music not even up there.
It's not.
Yeah,
my original love was not. When I started DJing and buying records was house music.
That's
was
very
house music
interesting.
and hip hop. Yeah, it definitely wasn't Latin music. Latin music I picked up way after. I grew up with it. My mom used to collect vinyl. Always heard it, but I just never. It wasn't my thing.
Same thing.
Like dancehall, I love dancehall. I'm always listening to some reggae, and I know my rhythms, and I learn, I study. I don't listen to newer stuff. The stuff personally I like to listen to is like all 80s and 90s, even some 70s stuff. Like,
Damn, that's
I just
okay.
like and then funk. I picked up in the last 10 years. I picked up on funk and soul, and I listen to Ann Peebles, or I listen to Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes, or like all these. Different artists and things, and just moving forward and experiencing new music. That's just what I hope to do forever.
That's
like
what's
you
up.
said, future dance hall, the bass hall, the stuff that's being done, the lo-fi hip hop stuff that's hot right now worldwide, and stuff like that. I just
fucking it up right now. I feel you. So you gonna keep on being into music your whole life, and you probably have like a 10-year, and then you're gonna retire.
Yeah, I don't see definitely more than 10 years.
You've been killing it for a long time.
I'm gonna construct a dope party for him, just for him.
I'm about to say, it sounds like we should collaborate on the board.
Exactly, bro. I have a set.
Like
I have a crate that I've been building in my laptop that's just like acapellas and shit that I've never played it ever. It's just it's like originals, and then but like I've never ever been able to play it.
That's
literally before I came over
interesting.
here, I was adding stuff to that crate, but it's just like
I would like to see more of those events here in Connecticut. I've gone to,
and they're out there.
I've gone to like a couple spots in New York, and they have all these different world DJs who do all these weird mixes. They'll play like hip hop, and they'll play cumbia all in one set. They just seamlessly mix in. Like I would like to see some of that stuff here in Connecticut.
I went to Scratch Bastard's barbecue in New York over the summer.
I remember that.
I told you about it, but literally, some of the most fun I had because it was like a lineup of like 10 DJs. Everybody was playing different stuff.
He was recording like a kid in a kiddie shop. You remember that shit?
My battery died.
He was recording. I remember you was mad excited recording. I felt the energy. Man,
it was dope seeing that. It was such a dope step away from what I'm used to, and like I was like that's where I would like to be able to do in the future. Just like.
Okay. What about you, Santo? We never got to you.
I feel the same about the DJing shit. I just feel like I want to get to a point sooner than later where I just DJing what I want to DJ. You know what I mean? And not DJing for the sake of having to pay my bills, or for the sake of trying to stay relevant, or any of those things. I just want to be able to position myself with the producing to a point where, like I said, I could just
DJ
what I want. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the producing is hopefully going to help me out with that. Producing I picked up about 3-4 years ago. I talked to Stutters on his podcast about it when I first started. Yeah. And the reason why I even picked up producing was because I guess the conversation we're having about, where Nightlife went, and kind of like the DJing and falling like kind of out of love with like, not DJing, but like the scene and being like,
I get what you're saying.
Okay, now I got to find some inspiration. And then like I found myself having to go out of my way to try to find inspiration like more than ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and taking days off and going to New York or going to this event. And it was a point where like it works for a while, and then after a while it just like stopped working. And I was like, damn, I gotta figure something else out, or else I'm gonna be doing a disservice to the people that are coming to see me DJ. yeah, I could still pull it off, the technical part of DJing, and I can still make people have fun. But if you're not actually in it and really having fun doing it, it's gonna you're doing a disservice to the people. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a step back and just focus on this producing and just like learn how to produce. So I did that for like 3-4 years, and I think I'm at a point now where I'm gonna start releasing music in April. I'm gonna be releasing my first song in April, and then hopefully an album after that in like July. Thank you.
Shout out to that.
I'm very excited.
That's big news.
And that's just gonna get the ball rolling. You know, I'm not doing on some like, with the expectations of anything else besides just, okay, let me just get my feet wet and let me like get the ball rolling. So hopefully around this time next year we could be having a different conversation as far as like the producing. But right now it's just and even talking about it, I get more nervous playing my song in front of 2-3 people in the studio than when I was going out and DJing for big crowds. You know what I mean? And I had that realization. I'm gonna be 100 when I DJed at the Xfinity Theater for like Hot Jam or some shit like that for the station, and I remember literally not feeling any butterflies for 20,000 people, bro. And I remember even when I finished, that was the day that I thought to myself, that was like the breaking point for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck am I like, I've waited all my whole career to be able to be in front of people of this magnitude, and when I finally get that moment,
it didn't really like
it didn't feel like how I hoped it would feel. You know what I'm saying?
And now with the producing,
the energy of 20,000 people is crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, the set was crazy, but like
I seen the
I just
video.
wasn't in it.
I felt it in the video too.
but
Like
you're saying that the feeling that now with the producing,
Yeah, I get anxious. I get nervous. Like, okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
you
like
like
this.
it.
you want
You
people to,
I like
and
it.
that's the same feeling that you get when you first started DJing. You like, and like we were able to catch some words by the almighty Rakim
Rakim,
the other day saying what that is. That's our conscience telling us like that, like it means something.
Yeah, shout out to Rakim. I remember I heard about that. That was a dope situation. And shout out to y'all guys for coming through, having a dope ass conversation on this podcast. Thank you, El Nino. I appreciate you coming through.
I came a little late, but I appreciate you guys.
Stutters.
I wouldn't mind doing this again. This was a fun conversation. I've learned some stuff about everyone else and got different perspective on nightlife and on things that maybe it would work. So I appreciate everybody. Thank
Just know that you're not alone out here.
Yeah, I appreciate
These
that,
are
man.
three
Not alone. Like, I know how that
different
feels,
people
like,
that's all in this nightlife together. Like
So when I talk my shit, even though y'all don't like it, y'all be like, yeah, you're right, you're right.
we agree.
I appreciate that.
But the thing is,
Because then I'm the asshole all the
very
time.
easy.
I'm like,
The thing
yo,
is,
fuck
I
this
feel-
old nigga.
I know. I feel it's very easy to ask
That's
us
a dopey
three.
bad moment.
I think it's very easy to ask us three if the nightlife is. I think you should ask somebody that's only been in it for 3 years.
Like, because we're older.
No, but that's why I asked y'all, because y'all seen like a whole
But we all
generation.
but like, if somebody just started within the last 5 years, that's all they know. That it might be the world to them. So it's just like I feel it's easy to ask us because we've already seen where it was, and we've already been in it for a long. We've been living through this transition for the last whatever how many years. So
And
somebody
I don't want to like, and I also don't want it to get misunderstood. Like, if I have any, like, I love the technology part has its pros and cons. You know what I mean? But like, creatively, like we're capable of doing so much more than we ever could.
Exactly.
As DJs and producers than we ever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we ever could imagine.
We're not taking advantage of that, you know?
Yeah, you know
we're
what I
just
mean?
lazier and lazier.
Yeah.
And I'm going to include myself into that too. We're just lazier and lazier. You know, now you can just post up a flyer and a whole bunch of people are going to see it. What about the days when I would get 10,000 flyers from Danny? I had to hit the streets.
I remember you said that.
Spend a whole day in Waterbury, a day in Meriden, a day in New
You would
Britain.
have to hit the malls, literally walk up to people that you didn't know, hand them out.
I remember
You know
those
what I'm saying?
days.
Like,
Those were
bomb
the good old
cars,
days.
Put it on cars,
Yeah,
and
people are not taking advantage. They're definitely not. It's
The
supposed to make it
posters
easier
and
for
all
us,
that
not
other
lazier.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, everybody
times,
get their shit together and don't be mad about it. Everybody shout out their Instagrams on here before
at
we
DJ
leave.
Stutter CT.
At DJ El Nino LMP.
International Santo.
And I am, of course, Mr. Don't Be Mad. And just make sure you follow the Don't Be Mad podcast. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that bell.
Let me do that
and
right
don't
now.
be mad. All right?
Yes, sir.